Welcome to Keys to the Game, brought to you by Wentz Orthodontics. Brian Jensen, John Harris, Chris Level, the Texas Tech Sports Network radio crew with you. This weekend, it's Oklahoma State coming to town to Jones AT&T Stadium to take on the Red Raiders. That, of course, is the undefeated Cowboys coming in. And John, the key to stopping the undefeated Cowboys, or at least keeping up with them?
All right, I got notes. I got notes here, so everybody relax here. It's going to take me a while to explain this. I think mandatory the Red Raider offense plays well. We know the defense is continuing to be a work in progress. But offensively, the last couple of weeks, we've struggled. Now, we're still third in the nation overall in total offense. We lead the nation in third down conversions. But I think through the first 6 weeks of the season and the last 2 weeks have been markedly different. We played Kansas, worst defense in college football. We played Oklahoma, not the worst defense in college football. But in the red zone, Red Raiders in those first 6 games, 23 of 24. The only time we didn't score in the red zone, missed field goal late at Arkansas. Last 2 weeks, 9 of 13 with 5 field goals. Not scoring touchdowns, it starts to add up, and it makes a huge difference. Big play touchdowns. And for me, big play touchdowns, 10 yards or more. First 6 games of the year, 26. 26 touchdowns of 10 or more yards. That's the big play offense we all know about. Last 2 weeks, 2. 1 against Kansas, 1 against Oklahoma. Big plays aren't there. And finally, turnovers, 7 in the first 6 games. Basically, 1 turnover a game. We've lost 6 against Kansas and Oklahoma. You just take away opportunities. You got to be productive when you get in the red zone. You got to be productive with those plays that everybody knows all about, and you can't turn the ball over.
How many of those were with white shoes versus black shoes with the temperature at 66 degrees and no rain?
Well, I can tell you this.
That was a joke, actually.
Oh, well, I was going to get right into it. No, but it's just one of those things. I think offensively, while we do a lot of things maybe from the 20 to the 20, we don't finish the job. And I think we have to do that now because you've got 4 games remaining, starting with Oklahoma State on Saturday afternoon. You can win them all, but if you don't play well, you can lose them all too. So I think some of these things you got to take care of to have that chance.
And those are keys to the that's what notes will do for you, Chris.
Next time he brings notes, I'm gonna need a snack. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's funny too about this team, home versus away too. To John's point, I mean, I think Pat 15-1 touchdown interception ratio at home, 6-9 away from home. Weird deal. He's not alone in that, being able to play better at home. But to me, it's the other quarterback, and it's which one of the 2 quarterbacks do you want to try to stop? But J.W. Walsh is their X factor. They've made a 2-quarterback system work. They've committed to it, and Mike Gundy even says this week, we may try to keep doing this in years to come, which is, very bizarre because Coach Kingsbury's philosophy is exactly the opposite of that. But J.W. Walsh is scary in the red zone, and he is fast. He's a senior with experience. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And when he comes into the game, they score touchdowns. And that may have taken away from Mason Rudolph's stats a little bit, but to me, if you figure out a way to kind of cause J.W. Walsh to miss or to hold him to a field goal attempt when he's in there, you have a chance to win this game. But if he does what he's supposed to do and what he's been doing, might have a hard time keeping up.
Yeah, he leads the team in touchdowns on the ground with 6. I didn't have notes on that, by the way. So to do that, you have to tackle.
Yes,
that would be a key to the game. But here's my key to the game, and it goes a little bit in line with what John's talking about. But I think it's play calling. You're going up against a defense that the number one thing they do well is pressure the quarterback. They lead the world in sacks. They have great defensive ends, and they will put a lot of pressure in the backfield. The way you counter that is to make sure you call the right play at the right time. If you run the screen at the right time, you do a draw play at the right time, you get Mahomes to do a bootleg at the right time. If you call the right plays at the right time, you can have that defense on its heels. And I don't think they've had that happen to them as much as you would think they could have that happen to them this year because they haven't faced an offense like Cliff Kingsbury is going to throw at them. So let's see some creative play calling against Oklahoma State and see if that doesn't make their season, which has started out almost exactly like the Red Raider season did a couple of years ago with the same kind of schedule, turn into the end of the season the way, unfortunately, the Red Raiders did a couple of years ago. And let's flip it a little bit as we head to these last 4 games, okay?
But there's no bowl tie-in with the Holiday Bowl, so they can't go to San Diego and beat Arizona
Well,
State.
let's not make it completely exactly the same, but at least we're close. Okay, well, those are your keys to the game for this week against Oklahoma State, brought to you by Wentz Orthodontics.